I want to thank you all for bringing this very, very important debate on the floor of the National Assembly. But I take a different perspective to what has happened here. You have to go back in history to understand why there was a civil war in the first place, and 50 years later, why the same people are agitating for independence. In '66, we had the first coup, where it was alleged that the Igbos wiped out northern leaders in the military. Second coup, Gowon took over, and there was a lot of bloodshed, killing the Igbos. Igbos were killed in the north. They moved back to eastern Nigeria. Ojukwu became head of state, declared a nation called Biafra. The war started. We fought for 3 years. The war was over, and southeastern Nigeria and eastern Nigeria, as it was called, was integrated into Nigeria. That is the background. Now, when the war was over, I asked the Vice President of Nigeria a fundamental question. There are two questions asked. One, why did you erase the bite of Biafra from the map of Nigeria? And he said that at the Supreme Military Council meeting, they felt Biafra would rise again. And so the federal government at the time did everything possible not to talk about the war in Nigeria. So, from 1970 to the present, a generation of Nigerians who were born did not know we had a civil war. And I know a lot of young people who do not know Nigeria fought the war. This policy of being an ostrich and not addressing issues is counterproductive. If you lived in America, you know you had the Vietnam War, which happened at the same time as the Nigerian Civil War. You had the Korean War, you had the First World War, you had the Second World War. You have all kinds of wars. And they talk about it all the time. If you watch the Discovery Channel, you can see all the wars in the world. And the reason they televise these wars is so that you can learn from the mistakes of others, so that you do not become a fool and make the same mistakes and fight again. And so here we are 50 years later talking about something that could have been avoided if the federal government at the time understood the value of history. So one, we erased the Civil War from our consciousness. So a generation of people do not know we fought the war or why we fought the war. They say the Igbos were marginalized, right? They fought the war, they lost. Today, they are the most industrious people in the country today. They are the richest Nigerians in the country today. One of the most educated people in Nigeria today. Yet, they feel marginalized. If you compare the